All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to J&J's Next Play. As always, I am Julio, and huh, where the heck is my co-host at? Juan, whenever you're ready, man. Yo, hey man, why are you looking like a Mortal Kombat character right now, dog?
It's in the spirit of the new game that arrives tomorrow, baby. Ghost of Yotai. Do you
Ghost?
think I'm ready to play the game or what?
I think you're ready, Juan. I think you are ready. Well, and I guess then that'll lead into our first topic of the day. So, unless you live under a rock, guys, tomorrow, October 2nd, the new game, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, will be coming out, which is Ghost of Yotai. And for those of you who are not aware, this is a Japanese game. It takes, obviously, in Japan, and the game looks absolutely stunning. And if you have not played it, Ghost of Tsushima was a very beautiful game. Juan, what are your thoughts on Ghost of Tsushima? I feel like you're ready to talk about this topic today.
I am. I've been waiting for this moment, actually. It's been a while since the new Ghost game got announced. But Ghost of Tsushima, to be honest, it was one of those games that I tried just out of curiosity. Um, I didn't try it immediately when it first came out. I tried it out when it had been a couple months already since it had came out, and I just tried it out because I didn't really happen to have any games to play at the moment, and I went through this course of journey, I guess you could say, where I started really getting into story mode games. That's kind of around the time when I not only got into Ghost, but I started playing a lot of God of War games and stuff like that. And I really got into games that really had a nice story mode, and Ghost of Tsushima is one of them. It was a really impressive game just off the bat how it starts when you're going downhill in a horse, with a full army, and it's a full war going on. You're like, whoa, like the game just started. What am I really stepping into? And then as you progress through that game, again, I mean, even my wife ended up playing that game with me. Well, at least she sat next to me at times.
She was the real life supporting character of the game.
hmm And then now we're here. We are here. We are hours away from the release of Ghost of Yotai.
And have you seen Juan, like, recent gameplay of them showing like comparisons between Ghost of Tsushima and
Play it. Let's play it for the people. Let's play it for the people. Let's build up the hype. It all starts tomorrow.
it all starts tomorrow. Oh, I don't know how, man. I'm searching right now on YouTube. There's already gameplay on the game. Well, I do remember that there's a certain time zone that if you switch your PlayStation to that time zone, it lets you actually let to play a game a little earlier. So
I don't blame them. But I don't want to see gameplay. I don't want to see gameplay of people already advancing the
no,
story.
no, I wouldn't do that. Not even to myself.
No.
Nah, 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 nah. Look at this beauty right here.
I will find every last member of the Yote Six, and I will bring you peace. I swear it.
I thought.
Absolute beauty.
Creatures such as you and I cannot resist the call of revenge.
I found something new to live for.
It just
Man,
looks like a movie.
it really does. And for those of you who never played Ghost of Tsushima, the game is just it's a really good game. You play as a samurai who is leading an army against Genghis Khan, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
And pretty much your first battle with the person, doesn't go as planned, and you kind of, start progressing the game by leveling up, doing missions. You can do side missions and unlock certain gear, certain sword, even special abilities. And To be honest, when the PS5 first came out, I didn't get it immediately. I had multiple opportunities to get it, um, but ultimately I didn't until the game had enough games. Kind of like what I'm doing now with the Switch 2, that until the platform doesn't have enough games that really want me to like get it and play for a while, I don't do it. And when I first got the PS5, I got the Spider-Man edition. I played Spider-Man 2. Fun, quick game. Doesn't really take long. Kind of a little bit repetitive, but the story mode to that game was good. And the second game I did play was Ghost of Tsushima, and to this day, it's still the world is fun. It's vibrant. It's full of life. There's a lot of things to do. It's very satisfying. And to be honest, at least for me, and obviously Juan over here that's dressed like a samurai, Ghost of Yotai, I am really excited to play the game. However, I will speak on something that people have been talking about when it comes to Ghost of Yotai, and it's the fact that from what we've seen in the trailers, it looks like there's two characters in the game, but one of them happens to be a woman samurai. Now this kind of took the game, the gaming world by storm because unless you guys don't know, on record there really isn't any samurais that were women, and people are trying to, Ghost of Tsushima apparently is tied to real events that did happen back in ancient times in Japan, and then this sequel is, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've read, it's 100 years after Tsushima, and it's something completely unrelated to the main storyline of that game. It happens to take place on another story, and again, the video gaming world, like, I guess, viewed that negatively. And Juan, how do you feel about now that in Ghost of Yotai you'll be playing as a woman samurai?
Well, to be honest, I mean I don't want to sound disrespectful, but to me, I'm excited about the game. For me, I get why, I guess, people from a Japanese heritage and from locations like that, I guess why, you could understand why they would get upset or why they would be seeing that as controversial, like, oh, like that's not supposed to be happening, because again, they know their history better than anyone. Um, so that's kind of like where I can see that viewpoint. But as a general gamer, I mean, there's no way you cannot be excited to play this game. Like, and especially with PlayStation, to be honest, being so laid back lately with not having a lot of big gaming titles as of lately, this is projected to be the one of the biggest for PlayStation, and for honestly for them to carry them for a while until I don't know what GTA 6 comes out, because when you think about it, and every other game is available on Xbox as well, PC and stuff like that. So it's really one of those games where it's making PlayStation be relevant again. To be honest, because this game won't be coming out on Xbox. It's a Sony exclusive, and then I think you can play it on PC as well if I'm not wrong. But
I think on PC it comes out a little bit later. They want to see how it does first on the PS5 and see if it pushes some console sales. So I know Ghost of Tsushima did come out on PC, but it was like almost like roughly like a year or two later, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, but yeah, overall, I mean, I'm just excited in general for the game to come out. Like that is, um,
Well, now that we're on that topic of playing as a woman main character, I know that the gaming community in a way is kind of divided because it seems like as of late they've been trying to, I guess, do it more than before, where they would have a game come out and the main character of the game is a woman, and not just the fact that it's a woman. Sometimes they bring real world like life problems into the game. And I know me and you have discussed it one in the past that when I play a video game, like, I think I'll be a gamer forever. When I play a video game, I want to first and foremost play a game that's fun, that I can play with my friends. But more importantly, like when I play like in a game, I want to escape reality. I wanna get out of the real world problems, and I just want to play a game and just dive into that world that was created by set studio or set company. And the last thing I want to do is kind of like play a game where you're seeing the BS happening in the real world in the game. So how do you feel about like stuff like that? Like, I know Last of Us 2 somewhat had a bit of controversy with that. And I know that recently Naughty Dog released a new space game where the main character again is a girl. The first clip is her shaving her head with a razor, and people are already kind of iffy about that. I want to get your perspective on that one. How do you feel about things like that?
Pretty similar. Like if I'm playing a game, I'm not really looking to you know be informed, or I guess of any of the politics going on out in the outside world with the game. But I'll tell you right now, with this Ghost game coming out tomorrow, if the game is anything like the first one, I don't think anybody's gonna be complaining much about if the character is a woman or man, etc. So I really think it all depends on what could overpower any of those opinions. It's just the impact of the game. If the game is solid, if the game is good, and it leads to that, I guess, happy place, that everybody's happy place, I guess in some way could be different. Um, everybody forgets about their opinions all of a sudden. Like the only time people have something to critique or say something is when clearly there's something wrong with something. That's when everybody has something to say.
No, yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, like, if I'm playing a video game and the main character happens to be a woman or one of the other characters tends to be a woman, I don't mind it. I just don't want it to bring real world life problems into the game because I have played games, like when I was younger, the Lara Croft games. There was the Horizon games where you're in a world where it's full of robotic dinosaurs. Last of Us, even like those are games that to this day I have high up there in some of the best games I've ever played. But it's when they start bringing like the real world stuff in it. It kind of like I don't know, discourages me from playing that game, maybe even following it for future reference. I know that's one of the issues that I know Battlefield, I believe it was 5 or Battlefield, I don't know, one of the Battlefield had it. But other than that, I am excited for the game. The game does look beautiful. The only real video I have seen, it was someone showing comparisons of how the world reacts now, like when you swing your sword. In the first game, the grass would just move. This one actually like cuts the grass. You leave a mark. Graphics obviously are enhanced. The gameplay looks stunning. I'm just hoping the story is there, like in the first one. The first one did have small moments where it was kind of repetitive, like chasing the foxes up to the mountain and cutting the bamboo sticks. It was still cool experience, but at some point I stopped doing the side stuff and I just went straight to the main story. And the final boss fight was epic. And nonetheless, it was a good game. So if you're listening to this, and
But
whether
that
it
was
be on launch day or the day after,
Now that
let's
you mentioned that though about the conclusion of that game, that was also something that they threw in creatively because if you don't know about the first game, like your conclusion was honestly totally depending on the decision that you made
hmm
when you fought the final boss. You could either kill him off, you could choose to keep him alive. So I chose to kill him off because throughout the story mode it led to that decision
you're
and
a
the way
straight
I
killer.
felt about it. But other people chose to save him. So I never saw what the game looks like if you save the guy.
So currently right now on Metacritic, the game has an 87, and Ghost of Tsushima. One second. So we said it had an 87, and Ghost of Tsushima currently sits at a 80. Well, PS4 83, PS5 87. So the scores are a little bit similar, but review scores from different publication sites, they are giving it a lot of 10 out of 10s, and they're saying that it is better than the original, which, quite frankly, at this point, we all know that sometimes a sequel never lives up to the original. But in this case, it's saying yeah, and then now I'm reading here that Ghost of Yotai Legends will be a co-op multiplayer game that's going to be coming out for Yotai. So that's going to be very interesting how they do co-op for that game. And once again, guys, it's a game that me and Juan are really looking forward to. It looks like a lot of fun. And other than that, I know another game coming out tomorrow. If you have a Nintendo Switch, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are coming out. Only reason I'm a little excited for that is I've always considered Mario Galaxy probably one of the best Mario games ever, and a lot of people have always said that Mario Galaxy 2 was better than the first one. I never got a chance to play the second one, so I'm kind of excited that they're kind of re-releasing that. So usually what we do in this case, me and Juan game share. Juan is getting Ghost of Yotai. Thank you, Juan. Thank you for the lookout. I'll then download it and play it, and then chances are I will be getting Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And before I go on paternity leave, Juan, I'll try to beat the game. It's usually a quick beat, and then I'll hand it to you before I go on paternity leave so you have something to play, because I have a feeling that we're probably going to be playing a lot of Ghost of Yotai this weekend. Especially that I found out now that I ain't going to West Palm Beach, so that's a plus. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go full Put it this way, dude. I haven't seen anime in a minute, and I started watching anime just in the hype of I'm trying to get into my Zen mode. You know, I'm trying to recreate that video of you smoking the smoke in that temple in Japan.
Be careful when you say you smoking, because I don't smoke out here. Come on now.
All right, guys. Juan has a video when he went to Japan for his honeymoon. He went to a temple, and I guess there was like an incest, right? It was turned on. Yeah. And you see my dog Juan trying to become, you know, the inner samurai in him came out, and then maybe one day we'll show the video, maybe not. It all depends on Juan. You know, I have to get his approval.
That's where I got this kimono from.
Actually, that's the same one you were wearing in that video, right?
Yep. So I'll show y'all the video. Don't worry about it. I won't keep that one hostage.
But yeah, and then other than that, as far as video game goes, guys, I mean, obviously Call of Duty comes out in November. I guess at this point, we know what to expect. Oh, by the way, you know, Juan, I knew I forgot to show you something today. So I saw a video while I was at in an undisclosed location, and in the video, what's this dude that plays Call of Duty? El Cabo that hits his head when he's playing. You've mentioned his name before.
Is it Tim the Man?
Tim the Man. So Tim the Man, I guess, got an invite to get exclusive gameplay of the new Call of Duty game. And he's in a map, and I know he gets sniped, and he's like, yo, how did I die? And we looked at the video. There's a dude that has a sniper with a thermoscope. He shot through a wall and got him. This dude went ballistic in the video. And again, I know we've talked about this in the past. Call of Duty, pretty much after Modern Warfare 2, the remake that came out a few years ago, I feel like it's been on a decline. Modern Warfare 3 wasn't it. This last Black Ops game that came out wasn't it. And again, I'm not a big fan of jetpacking, all that nonsense. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't expect, to be honest, I don't expect much to be playing this game for long. Only reason I will check it out is because it's on Game Pass. Maybe I'll look into Battlefield, but maybe I just take a year off of first-person shooters. But now that I mentioned Xbox Game Pass.
Hold on, is the video of Tim the Man like online?
I believe so. I saw it on X, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not gonna say Twitter no more. I saw it on X. Hold on.
Twitter.
X one, come on, bro. Twitter. But while I search the video, Juan, I know I mentioned you today. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate jumped from $20 a month to $30 a month. Sí, papá, I did tell you that.
Aquí la economía está subiendo por todos lados, dog.
Papa, la cosa está fea, dog. We just got a 3% cost of living today. That cost of living went straight to me paying Xbox Game Pass now.
Sí.
¿En qué estamos, dog? Like, coño, bro, every time I get a raise, sube algo. La gasolina, los huevos, la leche. It's like, dude, ¿hasta cuándo, dog? Like, yo, like, this is ridiculous, bro. Like, but other than that one, I remember I showed you some of the perks. I believe now you get Ubisoft Plus, EA Plus. Apparently there's even chances to win up to $100 a year with that subscription. And I believe it also ties in the Fortnite Battle Pass. So with that being said, Juan, how do you feel about the increase to the Xbox Game Pass?
I mean, I think the way they did it is still really affordable, to be honest, compared to other platforms and other systems. And the other thing is, I think the way they did it, the way that they explained the tiers and what you get depending on the tier that you get for the plan, I think you really see what you're getting for your money. So that makes it, I guess, aesthetically pleasing for the customer, like people like us that are going to be buying it and stuff like that. But also, I mean, a big plus for me would be if that EA Plus perk that they're throwing in Tier 3, if that means you get sports titles for free, like Madden, the new FIFA, and other sports titles by EA, I mean, that alone, I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck there.
True, true, true. I'm trying to find the clip, but I'm again I don't. It's not coming up. I'm gonna see now if I find at some point. But yeah, dude, Buddy gets shot through the wall and he was going ballistic. And I know I mentioned to you earlier that there are certain streamers that do rely on Call of Duty every year because they make money off of streaming Call of Duty. But dude, to be honest, if the game is whack, no one's gonna be playing it.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's why the noise and the buzz has kind of slowed down from the last one. Look how that went, and
Look,
that one had a lot of hype for both sides, for multiplayer and zombies. I mean, I know we played a little bit of the zombies and we had a little bit of fun with it, but eventually it just again it died down.
yeah, it died down. It really wasn't fun. Look, all I know is, bro, I got bamboozled. I'm going on paternity leave soon, and this year was gonna be finally the year we were gonna get GTA 6. And out of nowhere, Rockstar hit me with the psych. You're gonna get that next year, and it sucks. I maybe we'll dedicate some other time for GTA 6, but I do believe that'll probably be the probably one of the best games that we'll ever play in our lifetimes. One, because again, this is like what 12 years now in the making. I was a senior in high school when this game last came out. So, but anyhow, that'll be enough as far as gaming topics. Once again, guys, Ghost of Yotai, check it out.
Oh, deal it.
And mate, well, hey, if that does come out, that multiplayer mode, maybe me and Juan will do a live stream where we're playing the Ghost of Yotai Legends. But anywho,
That'd be actually pretty cool to see.
I want to go into another topic today. This one created a lot of hype, but we were at an undisclosed location once again. So me and Juan started thinking of ideas of, how we can attract viewers. What are some fun things we can do? We have a lot of ideas in the back of our mind. Obviously, we're just, still working the kinks of, uh, creating topics, doing videos of, how to get viewers. And one of the things we discussed was, hey, how about we break a world record? Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Doesn't have to be anything athletic. So I started looking up, certain records that are maybe possible. First one that caught Juan's attention was the world record for sticking the most sticky notes in your face in a span of a minute is 38. My dog Juan started losing it and started tapping on the wall like if he was already practicing. Then I brought up an even better one. So for those of you that don't know Juan likes to compete in marathons, all that
Anything.
anything
Anything.
pretty much.
Anything
But
that
anything that has to
can
do with running, yeah, I'm gonna give you guys now a funny story. So, about a few years ago now, we got invited to ride your bike to work. So pretty much we grabbed bikes, we met everybody at the beach, and we rode all along like the beach
I know
side.
where this is going.
We rode all at the beach, and it was cool. We were cruising. We went over a bridge. We're looking at buildings, and everybody said, hey, let's take it easy. There's a lot of, there was a lot of, older folks there. People were just vibing. When I looked to my left, this dude right here, Juan, buddy said, these people might be cruising. I'm gonna see it as a competition. Juan got so ahead of the line that he hit the tire of the back of the motorcycle of the cop that was leading the line. To the point where the guy told him, yo, buddy, like, slow down. Juan was about to outrace a motorcycle. Juan, you wanna elaborate a little bit on that story? Were there any lies that I mentioned, or was I fully correct on that?
No, that was pretty accurate. That was pretty accurate just about how it went, all right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to these people. Come on, now they're watching us. We gotta give them some respect here. But yeah, no lies told. I mean, I started feeling momentum at some point, and then my legs just kicked into gear, and I saw the opportunity, and I took off. And yes, I took off to the point where I was tapping the cop in the back, with of the motorcycle, and he told me, hey, relax, and then I just stayed next to him. I relaxed, but I stayed next to him.
So, in other words, in your mind, Juan, you won the race that
Of
didn't
course.
exist.
Bueno, no, it existed. Just everybody else disregarded it.
Oh man, but anywho, not to derail much of the topic. So I then searching a bunch of records, records for stacking coins in a minute, toilet paper, all this nonsense that people have records for. I then discovered that the record for the most high fives in 1 minute was set by a high schooler in Japan and ended up being 292 high fives. Guys, when I tell you that when I mentioned that world record to Juan, this dude jumped up and started doing push-ups. This dude started getting hyped. This dude already saw him completing that world record by the end of the year. And then reality struck. Juan, what did you find out you needed to do to be a world record holder? Can you please elaborate the process of owning a world record?
All right, so let's go step by step. So apparently, to be able to even attempt a world record, number one, you need to go through the Genius World Record website, create an account, apply for the record that you're interested in breaking, and then after that, like every now and then, they just mention like, hey, by the way, we're just making you aware that, if you do get approved to try to go break this record or have an attempt to try to break this record, there is a small fee that needs to be paid, and when you read the word small fee, you're just like, okay, I mean, what could it possibly be? Like, I'm just like, what, like at most, I don't know, $100 or whatever we're doing here, I don't know. So as time progressed, I applied for the one that Julio just mentioned, which was the high five one. I got really stoked about that one. I still am, by the way. I still am. But I get an email from Guinness World Record, and it says that to to be able to attempt and have the whole show or whatever, have the personnel come out, I guess, brand and all that stuff, costs about 16K. 16K to just have an attempt. That doesn't mean you broke the record. That doesn't mean you're gonna break the record. Like, you could fail at the end of this day. Like, this is the whole thing with this. But you paid $16,000 to go through with this. Now, the reason why I say is it's still not over is because they did say that they had to contact you, and that's where they discuss, X, Y, and Z. So who knows? I mean, maybe there's a deal to be made. Maybe when there's more clarity on the situation and we give a little bit more explanation and they understand where we're coming from with this, maybe there's still a possibility. So don't quit just yet. You might catch us trying to break a world record. I don't know.
Hey, look, all I know is I was on my way home today when Juan sent me the screenshot that they wanted $16,000. And I literally texted Juan, well, there goes that. And then as I thought about it, I'm like, now it makes sense why so many people own such BS world records. They probably got money to spare. They really don't care at this point. $16,000. Hey, hey guys, I bet I can stick X amount of post-it notes on my face. Oh, well, there you go, buddy. You own the record and you just spent $16,000. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we can't do it. And if we do at least have an attempt at a world record, hopefully we don't have to cough up 16K. But I guess we'll cross it when we get there. But yeah, guys, we're just looking into it. And again, seeing Juan's face today. When I told him that world record, he looked at me like, no, he did just that. He got up, started doing push-ups. He's like, oh, Julio, I can do this. I can do this. Show me 16K Juan, and I'll tell you, yeah,
why
bro.
not? I mean,
You can do it.
Before we talk about the financial stuff and all that stuff, my question to everybody is, who would want to be part of that video? I need 300 people. If this thing gets going and this thing gets confirmed, we need 300 people, and we'll disclose the location, the time, the date, everything. But I need to know if I can count on you guys. So you guys can let us know through the comments if you would even be part of it. And hey, man, it's all for fun.
You heard it here first, guys. If you want to be a part of it, which again, we're trying to get to at least 50 subscribers. Once we get there, we're gonna pick someone at random to be in one of our episodes. We're halfway there, and again, any feedback you guys have, drop a like, leave a comment, share. We're always open to making things more interactive, better. So, with that being said, let's talk about the LOL Fins. Not even gonna say the Dolphins no more. I'm gonna say the LOL Fins. So the Dolphins finally got a win. Surprise, surprise, against the Jets, who are probably the only other team worse than the Dolphins at this point. But tragedy struck the Dolphins. One of their best, or probably the best, wide receiver on the team got hurt. It ended up coming out that he dislocated his knee and tore his ACL and MCL. Juan, with that being said, what can you say about this, and what is your predictions moving forward now with this injury?
My predictions are the same with him or without him. The Dolphins suck. They're not going anywhere. Um, you know, I don't know what we were expecting here, but yeah, I mean, I don't think their season is gonna change much. To be honest, I do think, although like I do think this situation causes a lot of different perspectives. I think for the team per se and the organization, this might be an opportunity for them to see, okay, like, how do things look without this dude on the field? Like, what can we do without him? And this may even lead to them realizing, like, you know what, like, things aren't that bad without him here, so let's see if we could trade him or get something for him. And that might even work out better for the Dolphins overall. As far as Tyreek Hill, I mean, I've been saying this since it happened. It's a sign from God, my friend. You need to slow down. You need to slow down. You got way too much going on off the field, and you got way too much going on the field, my friend. So I think that was just a sign of God telling that brother you need to slow down, my friend. You need to slow down. And then now the biggest mystery is to see how he comes back. He did, get a severe injury, and it's gonna be interesting to see how he comes back. Nobody knows how he's gonna come back.
Yeah, he does need to slow down, and I know me and you spoke about it, Juan, and what makes him such a good receiver is his explosiveness. Again, you don't get the nickname the Cheetah for no reason. And the injury that he suffered was very serious. So
Show
we
the
don't
people,
know
man.
how.
Show the people, man. Not everybody watches them sorry ass Dolphins.
Hey man, look. Again, I never wish any injury upon a player, and it sucks because he is gonna lose what makes him him. And at the end of the day, Buddy's trying to get another contract because he got to pay the child support somehow. But anywho, that's nor here nor there. Now that we're on the football subject, I know at least here in South Florida, people probably said, "Oh, cool, it's such a cool thing that got announced." But I don't think a lot of NFL fans appreciate it. Juan, how do you feel about the NFL getting Bad Bunny to perform at this year's Super Bowl halftime show in LA?
I mean, honestly, what's the argument? He's one of the biggest male artists right now in the industry. Um, One of the biggest Latin artists in the industry, in the world, should I say. Anywhere you go, his music is playing. And even the people that you just said that quite frankly aren't too fan of this announcement are the same people listening to his music when they go on vacation. So I really don't think it's a bad choice. I think it's a great choice as who they chose to perform is something different. It's out in California, a lot of Latin community out there. And I think it's gonna be a banger. Like, there's no doubt in my head. Like, I know people are choosing to bring the politics into this, and at the end of the day, calm your ass down. Just sit down, drink your beer, and enjoy the halftime show because you know you're gonna watch the game regardless. And at the end of the day, when the halftime show kicks in, you're probably gonna enjoy it, and your friends, your family are probably gonna do the same. So, and who knows? Now the biggest question is not just Bad Bunny performing, but as we know, it's always a whole performance. So who is he gonna bring along with him, and what is he gonna do? Now, again, I'm going back to why people are primarily, critiquing this choice. And again, it's because of the politics. It's because of everything that happened with his comments voicing towards, our current president, and the back and forth and stuff like that. I will say from his side, which I don't think he's gonna hold back, because at the end of the day, what makes an artist is the decisions you make, and what you choose to stand for, and what you choose, I guess, to ultimately perform. So I know from his side, he might bring the politics out, but I don't know. It's kind of like, what do you expect? If you're one of the biggest artists and you have so much hate going towards you right now because of this reason, like, guess what? If I'm him in his shoes, I'm gonna clap back at you with what you don't like, and you're still gonna watch it. You're still gonna watch it. It's still gonna break records. It's still gonna sell shirts, tickets, everything. So at the end of the day, he wins. Like, there's no losing for him here. He hasn't done anything to really,
Look, I
bring
mean,
his name down.
I mean, politics aside, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, Juan. I like Bad Bunny. I listen to his music. Obviously, me and you speak Spanish, so we understand what the nonsense he be saying sometimes. But someone brought up a good point, and the NFL is considered America's, I guess, number one sport at the moment. It's not America's pastime. That's baseball. It's not the world sport. I do believe it's soccer, but United States is known for football. And you know they were talking about it, and they're like, many Americans to this day don't speak Spanish, and there's a guy that he just said, he's like, forget the politics. Like, you're gonna do the show in LA. There's gonna be a lot of people who travel, who go to the Super Bowl, and you're gonna have a performer that realistically you're not gonna be able to understand what he says. And let's be honest, one. Sometimes this dude be saying some outlandish stuff every now and then, and if you understand his music, you know what he's saying. But if you don't, it's like, what is the guy doing? So, as far as the NFL with that choice, I do think they missed it here. I think the NFL, they didn't care about the politics. I think they're trying to branch out to a different demographic. There are a lot of Hispanics, like from South America and all these other places where their main language is Spanish, coming into the United States, and maybe there's a way to branch them. But hey, by the way, we're gonna have Bad Bunny perform at our show. So
I mean,
now
they also have Carol G performing the Kansas City Chiefs game in Brazil.
right, but again, you're in international waters. Carol G is a big international star, but not in the states. So there again, you see where the madness starts. They're trying to branch out to a different group of people, and I get it. It's LA. There's a lot of Hispanics that do live in LA, and it's again, I think Bad Bunny's gonna do a wonderful job. I just see it in the sense that it probably wasn't the best thing. Maybe he could have co-hosted, the halftime show. I know people have, one in Miami. It was J Lo and Shakira. Again,
Hmm.
it was Spanish music. It was
And
two
Pitbull came
women.
out.
It was a good show, but no, how do you not get Pitbull from Miami? Like, he didn't even make an appearance. Mr. Worldwide, but he couldn't go in, to the one city he's from. So regardless, I see it as good and bad. I get why they're doing it. I don't think many Americans who love football would appreciate it. Many people have been saying already that football isn't what it once used to be, and they see it as an NFL that this is just more for marketing than anything. But let's see. And then one of the last topics I have, and I know we've talked about this before, and
It has struck again.
it has struck again, my friend. So one of the players from Minnesota, um, she went publicly in an interview and said how she had a discussion with the commissioner of the WNBA and the state of the WNBA. And let me search up real quick, what she said. So yeah, I'm not gonna say his name. So hold on. While I find that one, you can proceed with a topic
I mean,
I wanna.
basically, what was happening was that they spoke out again against how the league is what it is. The reason why you guys are basically, you should be grateful that you're getting paid what you're getting paid, which technically, by technicality, WNBA players make nothing close to what other athletes make.
So so here I found the exact words apparently. So it starts off by this player, she plays for the Minnesota Lynx, forward clear. She said that right now we have the worst leadership in the world. Our leadership's ability to be held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. I'm not concerned about a fine, I'm concerned about the future of our sport. She then went into detail as I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel Reese, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $60 million off the court because without the platform the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. First and foremost, me and you damn know that's a lie. Caitlin Clark has probably, she was a star ever since she was in college, ever since she got into the league. You know, viewership went up, I don't know how much percent. I even saw a report saying that the moment she got hurt and stopped playing, viewership dropped 55%.
That, and also she also forced opponents to have to change the arenas they were playing in because they were selling so many tickets. So they had to, in other words, go from, I guess, the 20,000 attendance total arenas that they were playing to 30 to 40,000 arenas.
And then the commissioner for the WNBA also said that the players should be grateful for the deal she struck. I guess she mentioned getting a deal where based on viewership and revenue, it was going to be shared amongst the players. And David Sampson, who used to be a GM at for the Marlins, has his own podcast where he talks only strictly about sports. This dude is a genius. He used to be a GM, knows the in and outs that happens in the sports world, and he mentioned that pretty much what she stated was lies. She never struck a deal. And I know me and you have talked about this in the past, man, and it's on top of the fact that the WNBA doesn't bring in money, the players that have come into your league and have made your league somewhat more relevant and more popular, you don't do anything to take care of these players, you only do harm. And me and you, Juan, to be honest, we can go to any sport and we can see how leagues have always protected their best players. In the NBA, you can say the same agreement for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, MJ, Larry Bird. These are guys that always had a lot of emphasis when they played the sport. They got a lot of the highlights, the on TV. You know, they create a buzz about their players. And if you look at all these guys, they're all taken care of because the league made sure they got taken care of. Even to this day with current players. You look at baseball. Baseball has always taken, care of major of the stars. Obviously, the controversy in baseball is the steroid era. But at the end of the day, while those dudes were in the league, they were getting paid. They were stars. They were wherever they walked. They were God amongst us pretty much, and they helped grow baseball popularity. Do I feel like the NBA, the MLB should fix the issue, the steroid era, and make those guys eligible for Hall of Fame? Yeah, but maybe that's a different topic for another day, and maybe with someone that actually watches probably one of the best sports in the world. But look at Juan's face. Juan right now, not having it right now. But anyway,
Falling asleep here talking about baseball.
Look, even NHL. People who don't know hockey know who Wayne Gretzky is.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, every league acknowledges who their best players are and know how to use that player and to improve their platform. And ever since Kaylin entered the league, I feel like she just has never gotten that. People were bullying her. She wasn't getting foul calls. She didn't make it to Team USA. I've told you on multiple occasions, I would have gone to Europe and told that WNBA where they can stick it and hurt the platform. Because at the end of the day, if I'm bringing all this attention to you and you're just kind of, yeah, whatever, go figure it out, I'm not even going to bother with you. So, allegedly, this is what she said her conversation was with, the commissioner of the WNBA. Obviously, we already expect the commissioner probably saying that those are not the exact words I used or blase blase, but at the end of the day, it's been there since day one, bro. She's been there, she hasn't been treated like a star. Am I wrong for that one? Like, she's been treated as a star, but not by the own league she's in.
Yeah, I think that's more of an accurate point of view. I think the league itself, as far as when we talk about the WNBA, and what's in house within the WNBA, yeah, I don't think they've taken care of Kaden Clark or any of their stars. To be honest, I don't think they've backed them the way they should be backed, or they've try to push for them to go to new heights, as other leagues have for their star athletes. But obviously, Caitlyn, again, that's one of the things I've always said about Caitlyn Clark, where that I actually admire about her, where she's really humble. She's really humble. She sits down, takes the heat, and at the end of the day, she's gonna answer professionally, and she's gonna keep it moving. Um, Obviously, you don't know if behind closed doors, just how much is getting to her, but I don't. I think she's just built for that type of criticism, and that's why she's the type of player that she is, and as the star that she quite frankly is. And the other interesting take there is actually like that we could have been talking about today is, I mean, the Fever almost got to the finals this year without Caden Clark. So that would have been an interesting topic if the Fever would have made the finals and won without Clark. Would we be saying the same thing today about Clark and the effect she has on her own team? So, but I think it's definitely good news for the Indiana Fever to be able to perform that way without their star player like that. They got a lot of good, great other ball players in that club, as you can see, and I think they're definitely going to be a team to look out for in the future. I mean, they just gave the Las Vegas Aces a run for their money, and the Las Vegas Aces are usually the most stacked team in the WNBA.
So I wanna clarify something. So I know the one of the reports that I saw 60 million. No, it was 16 million off the court. But then someone I guess went into more detail, and it says that Clark does benefit from making money outside the league because she does have partnerships with, several lucrative
She
deals
has
and
to.
brands such like Nike, Gatorade, State Farm. But all the deals that she has combined is roughly worth 3.1 million. Juan, do you know Clark's base salary for her first season as a professional WNBA player?
No, I don't. Tell me about it.
$76,535.
Yeah, it's like working at a high end corporate, I guess, gig.
And again, I know me and you have spoken about the fact that that at the end of the day, the WNBA doesn't bring in a profit. These players in reality can't make more than what they're probably getting because at some point it doesn't make any sense. But again, it goes back to what I've told you. People now have talked more about the WNBA than the entire time it has existed. There've always been players that we've all known about that play in the WNBA, but Clark has been the biggest name, and I do feel like there's certain people, Angel Reese, who tries to ride that wave and claim that she's a bigger star than her. We all know that she's not. So for someone to say, mind you, all the deals I mentioned to you about, she already had them while she was in college. She didn't need the WNBA. The only reason she's probably playing WNBA is to make sure that those deals don't get lost. But she doesn't
That is what
need
she
the
also just
WNBA.
loves
The
the ball.
WNBA needs her. It's like if right now LeBron in his prime, instead of coming to Miami, he would have said, "Hey, by the way, I'm gonna go play for the Barcelona basketball team in Europe." You know how crazy that sounds? Like, why do you think the NBA, when it was in the lockout season, we had players going to China, to the Wu-Tang King Tigers or whatever? The WNBA was panicking because, like, now you got your stars going to play in other leagues, and it's going to help them at the end of the day. Mind you, I didn't even know that Taiwan had a professional basketball league until Dwight Howard announced he was going to go play over there. So, again, um, I hope that they figure it out, dude. And I hope that if that commissioner really did say that, I hope that. Well, look, Caitlin Clark signed a $28 million deal with Nike before she ever played a single game in the WNBA. So, again, she never needed the WNBA. It's like, I know you've talked about her before, Juan. This is a girl who inspires other girls to be pro athletes. And, I know you have said it. I know I told you I wouldn't react that way. Very humble, very professional with her responses. This girl takes hits like no other I've ever seen. But, dude, I am sorry, bro. The WNBA has to be better. They have to put someone in. If those comments were true, they gotta put someone in charge there that can fix this issue. But
I mean, again, I said it when we first talked about Caitlyn and the league. I really do think if things go her way as they have been, and I think if they continue to go that way, again, I'll reinstate my statement from the previous episodes. Caitlin Clark has the chance to be the female version of LeBron. LeBron came in at 18, dealing with all the criticism, dealing with all the baggage, everything thrown at him, and he's dealt with it for all these years. And he's done what he's done. And I think Caitlin is gonna be the female version of LeBron and WNBA.
I totally agree with you, man. But with that being said, I believe that concludes. This is what, episode 6 now.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go, Juan, I know we spent some attention on video games, and I want to ask you. Well, let's see. I'm gonna ask you two questions. So, the first question being, if you could erase your memory from playing a game to experience playing the game all over again, what game would it be?
That's hard.
I messed you up now, huh? It makes you think.
That's hard. That's hard, but I don't know. I think it would have come down to two games. It would have come down to God of War,
Which one?
probably Ragnarok,
Okay.
and then I think Ghost of Tsushima. I really like that game.
I guess
And
this
you?
is
What about
this.
you? You can't put me on the spot and not answer your own question,
No,
bro.
no, 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 no. I also thought about it because again, I read an article where someone got asked that question. I'm not gonna lie to you, Juan. I'm also between two games. The first game being the first Last of Us. Um, I know you mentioned
Always been a
earlier
sucker for that game, bro.
the first one. I didn't like the second one
The
that
first
much,
one.
but
I'm in
kind of
Battleborn.
like how you were talking about how you slowly started going into story mode games. For me, one of the first story mode games that got me back into that genre of gaming was Last of Us 1. I'll never forget playing Last of Us 1. I feel like the world was really good. The story was out of this world. The fact that you're in a sense, a zombie infested world. The backstories. That game was beautiful from beginning to end. And one of the things I've always told people and they didn't realize is Last of Us actually had a multiplayer that was really fun. You had a base camp, you had 10 people, and they'll tell you, hey, in the next game you have to get X amount of kills, or you have to do X amount of this for your people to survive. As you completed those goals, your camp grew more and more and more. But then if you stop getting to the goals you needed to get, people start getting sick, they started dying, and the whole purpose of the multiplayer is your base had to survive. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 16 weeks. The game was beautiful, bro. The game to me, to this day, is still one of the best games I've ever played. But another game that I would tell you that I think it would be over Last of Us 1 would probably be Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I knew you were gonna say that. I literally it was in my mind right now. I literally knew you were gonna say that.
Dude, when I first played that Zelda game,
I
I
never
was
finished
like,
that game.
I was like,
Yes.
wow. I was like, wow. My Switch to this day still tells me that's the game I have played the most on the Switch. I don't know how many side missions, I don't know how many side quests, I don't know how many things I collected. The game was beautiful. Now, mind you, I have Tears of the Kingdom and I haven't finished it because I think they did too much with it. But Breath of the Wild, in the words of Homelander, it was perfect. Down to the last minuscule detail. That game was perfect. And another game that I would probably throw in there, but not as much as the other two, would probably be Halo 2.
Halo.
Now, so
Halo.
for a lot of my for a lot of our viewers who might not know that what Halo is and think that Halo's whack, y'all wrong. Halos 1, 2, and 3 were some of the best games of all time, and the multiplayer was just there. What Halo we have now, different story. Me and Juan tried it a few years back, and ain't it. But Halo 2, Master Chief, baby. He was that guy. But the last question, Juan, what is a game that you would like to, I guess, get revived in a big way where it gets a huge following. Maybe think of a game that maybe was very popular back in the day and now is not as popular and you wish it would come back to life. I just mentioned mine, which is Halo. I wish Halo would go back to its glory days and stomp on Call of Duty and Battlefield and have everybody play Halo again. That would be my pick. But what would be your pick? What's a game that you remember playing and maybe either right now is not being made or hasn't been relevant that you wish wasn't the case?
You're going you're going too much into detail for me. But
I'm trying to make sure that to give you a clear path into it.
no. A game that no longer, bro.
I'm telling you, man, just this first game that comes to your mind that maybe you remember having good memories in, and maybe they just don't make it no more. Like I know,
Yeah, but see, the thing is that I have good memories with Black Ops 1, but they do still make Call of Duty.
right? But you know how I feel about Black Ops 1, bro. That's the best Call of Duty of all time. And I know for our listeners who listen to us, they're probably gonna say, "Hell no, it's Modern Warfare 2 or it's blah blah blah." I
What's y'all
don't care
want?
what people say.
Bring the
Black
smoke, I
Ops
don't
1
care.
is the best COD, huh?
I said, say what y'all want. Bring the smoke. I don't care. Black Ops 1, still that guy.
Black Ops 1 was peak Call of Duty.
Yeah, I
And
remember
after
saving
that,
the
it just
clips.
went.
Yeah, saving the clips, throwing the tomahawks across Summit, firing range.
Summit,
That it's
man.
different times.
Just
Different
think,
times.
just think of the maps, bro. Summit, Firing Range, the original OG Nuketown. Oh man, Zombies, Kino, the President's
Exactly.
one, the
They don't make that
Moon.
no more. So that would be my game technically.
Those were games that were made with love.
Yeah.
Now games are made with how much money can I suck you to give us?
Which is gonna be actually now that you say that, it's actually gonna be interesting if Ghost of Yotai goes into that type of demographic. Which I don't think they will, but
I
you
don't
never know,
think they.
bro.
I don't think they will, and I think that would be a bad play for PlayStation. But I guess never say never. And we have a report that EA got bought by some Saudi Arabian group, and now is no longer not even in the stock market. So let's see what happens with EA now that it's again privatized, and let's see what happens with their quality of life games and stuff. So you have no answer, Juan. You really can't think of anything that comes to mind. I mean, another game I could have also said was MVP Baseball. Those are some really fun, tacky baseball games to play, but EA stopped making them a while back ago. So I guess, guys, Juan's answer is more games like Black Ops 1. Because again, Black Ops 1 was perfect. And with that being said, that concludes today's episode. Again, I want to thank all our subscribers who have subscribed to the channel, our listeners. Again, give us feedback. Who do you think, pick their favorite game of all time? Are you excited for Ghost of Yotai? What do you think about the Caitlin Clark situation? Are the LOL fins done? Give us your feedback, interact with us, and again, once we get to our goal of 50 subscribers, we will invite one of y'all in the channel. As long as y'all behave well, and we'll have some topics to discuss with you. Well, with that being said, I'm done on my part. Juan, you got anything else to add other than,
Just make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, share our channel as much as possible. We really do appreciate it as much. You guys are the ones that are gonna be able to get this channel out there to different people that we may not even know. So at the end of the day, all we want to do is create a space, a platform where everybody feels, entertained, welcomed, and feels like they have an open opportunity to voice anything that they may have in mind. So you never know, maybe something that you voice may even be on one of our episodes.
And with that being said, and also, if you think that Juan can break that world record, please let me know if you think he could break that world record. Again, he has to high five 300 people in 1 minute. 300 people, high five, 1 minute. Alright? So, again, guys, thank you. Again, subscribe, like, share, the whole shebang. And who knows, maybe I'll upload a little YouTube short or TikTok video of getting our reactions playing Ghost of Yotai. So, but with that being said, this is J&J's Next Play. We'll see you next time. Peace.